G'day guys, Mick here. So for today's 5-minute yarn, I want to talk to you guys about influencers. Not talking these influencers you get all over friggin' Instagram and TikTok and all that sort of shit. And I suppose you could call me one too. But I want to talk influencers as to who has influenced my life. Who has brought me to love the country the way that I do, and to want to produce these videos for you guys and things like that. Where do I get my inspiration for this sort of stuff from? Well look, my biggest inspiration is what's around us. The truth be told, this country is my biggest inspiration. Aboriginal history and heritage and culture is also a huge inspiration for me. And that's why you've noticed that in my videos now I'm starting to talk Dalang language. You know, I'm starting to try and bring more of my Aboriginal influences into my videos for that reason. Because the Aboriginal culture and the Aboriginal way of life is a huge influence to me. As for famous influences, I'll have to start with Les Hiddens, the Bush Tucker man. Now if you don't know who I'm talking about here, stop this bloody video right now, come back to it a little bit later, and I'll link Les Hiddens up here. Now, go and watch some of the Bush Tucker man videos if you have no idea who I'm talking about. Seriously, go and bloody watch it. Les Hiddens is an amazing bloke, and the way he lived out with the Aboriginal people and learnt their culture and their way of life, and he learned about their foods and how they do different things, such as crushing up leaves to sap the water, the oxygen out of water to catch fish easier, and cooking foods and making flowers and patty cakes and all this stuff. Bush Tucker man is a huge inspiration, guys, for me, and I think he should be for a lot of people. Unfortunately, most of it was around the top end, not so much the east coast of Australia. It would have been a lot nicer to see my local area, but yeah, absolute huge influence. Another influencer as to why I love getting out and seeing the country, or influencers, are the Dalang brothers. That's right, and the Dalang brothers. We've all heard it. You know, Dalang brothers have been a huge influence too. They got around in a bloody combi, for Christ's sake, and explored so much of this country. And again, they were a huge influence. I'd love to pack up and just travel like that. Other influences, and this one's still around today, and he's still recording videos and recording shows, and they are a huge influence on me. And these are Uncle Ernie Dingo. You know, he's been around for bloody ages, and the stuff that he does, he does a series now called Going Places with Ernie Dingo, and he shows a lot of different places. They're not hard to reach places. He'll go and he'll talk about different areas, different towns and things like that, and he'll speak with some of the Aboriginal people of the area, and he'll learn some of the history of the area. They'll go out and find middens and go out into places like Gari, or commonly known as Fraser Island, but Gari. He'll head out to places like that, and he'll talk about Aboriginal cultures out there and influences. And he's a big part of why I've started to bring Dalang into my videos, because I often hear Ernie and some of the people that he talks to speaking language, and it always warms my heart to hear people acknowledging culture and acknowledging language and country the way they do in Going Places with Ernie Dingo. So Ernie, if you ever see this, buddy, I'd love to meet you, and you are a huge influence. Other influences as to content creators, well, you know, a lot of people that watch this video may already know, but you know, I've become mates with Steve from Mud Duck 4-Wheel Drive Touring, and Ryan from Next Level Adventures. And through Steve and Ryan, I've got to talking to a few other content creators, and I quite like some of their stuff. Some of their content I'm not overly keen on, but you know, we all have our differences and our different ways. But yeah, I've actually started becoming pretty good friends with Mud Duck and Steve and Ryan. I've also been talking quite a bit with Shad Donahue, Steve from Unparalleled Adventures, Grant from Four Wheeling New South Wales, and recently I've come across Matt from MAB Innovations, I think it is. He's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, I have to say I get a bit of a laugh out of him. But yeah, Mud Duck sort of gives me a bit of an influence in a sense that, you know, he isn't all about hard four-wheel driving, or very rarely about hard four-wheel driving, and he's, like me, he's trying to encourage people to get out and see more places. And he talks about your spotlight on campgrounds where you get out to a place regardless of what vehicle you've got and things like that. So I have to say Mud Duck's a bit of an influence. But yeah, more than anyone, guys, Les Hiddens, Leyland Brothers, and Uncle Ernie. Uncle Ernie, guys, I really can't recommend the Going Places with Ernie Dingo series any stronger. It is an amazing show, and yeah, really love the work Ernie does. So, alright guys, gonna cut it at that for this 5-minute yarn. So take care, peace, and as always, I'll see you on the tracks.